While passing by the medical bay on the Groundbreaker, you may hear a rather tense argument between Dr. Mfuru and a woman named Ellie. Personally, I've heard this exchange several times in my playthrough, and wouldn't you know that the one time I actually wanted to make a lore video about it, the scripted event didn't happen. I tried reloading previous saves, leaving the Groundbreaker and then coming back, but nothing worked. The Doctor and Ellie just stood there staring at each other. For the record, Ellie says to Dr. Mfuru, quote, "You can't keep me out of there," to which the Doctor responds, "Don't make a scene." I apologize for not having the actual gameplay footage of this exchange, but thankfully it's not really an integral part of the quest. Anyway, now that that's been addressed, we can go ahead and speak with Ellie to find out what exactly is going on.
I'm sorry, am I causing a scene? See, Mfuru? We could have avoided all this unpleasantness if you just let me talk to Jessie in the first place.
Who is this Jessie person you speak of? She a friend of yours or something?
Let me get one thing straight. Jessie and I are not friends. I just owe her, okay? As for the rest, I'm trying to figure that out. All I know is that she's been here too long, and she's apparently not receiving visitors.
So on the one hand, you don't really seem to care for Jessie, but on the other hand, you're here checking in on her?
You say that like it's weird.
Well, it just didn't add up is all. But I guess I'll take your word for it. That's, very noble of you.
It is most certainly not. And watch where you go saying that, okay? You're gonna give people the wrong idea. I just don't like to leave a debt unpaid, that's all.
Ah, I see. Well, maybe I can look in on Jessie.
Be my guest. If you know something I don't about dealing with hospital bureaucracy, I'll be impressed.
To reach Jessie, we have to make our way into the medical bay's quarantine zone, which can be accessed two different ways. The first is by heading over to the Rest and Go, taking a right turn just past Gladys's room, and then ducking into a tunnel behind a dumpster. From here, you can follow the path until you come to a small room with a locked door. To open it, we can either use the medical bay keycard, which is found on the northernmost shelf in this room, or we can pick the lock using 3 mag picks. Once inside, you'll find another door leading into the quarantine zone. However, note that there's a guard waiting for you on the other side, and if you're not using the holographic shroud, she will attack.
Contagion threat level. Invasive contaminants detected. Good news, customer. All germs and contaminants have been neutralized.
You can still complete this quest without any consequences if you end up killing her, but there's a much faster and easier way into the quarantine zone that doesn't require any bloodshed. Towards the back of the medical bay, you'll find the Mardet ID cartridge, which can be used with the holographic shroud to disguise you when you enter into the restricted quarantine zone. As long as you move slowly, the guard won't suspect anything and you won't be attacked. After passing through another door to the north, we can travel to the end of a hallway and then turn right. Here, we find an intercom, which we can interact with to speak to Jessie Doyle.
To the last Ratdodon Rutton time, leave me in peace! You hull-headed quacks do know that restful recuperation requires not being disturbed, don't you?
Settle down, Jessie. Ellie sent me.
What? Why? Everything's fine. We're all fine here. No need for her to be worrying her pretty little head about me. I'm just terrible, dreadful sick is all. Got a cough that won't quit and sores all over my body. Highly, lethally contagious. But I'll be fine, so long as I'm left alone.
You seem a little nervous. Almost like you're hiding something. We have a few different options here. We can stretch the truth a bit and say, Ellie is worried about you, Jessie. A lot.
Criminy. She really ain't gonna drop this, is she? Alright, okay. We can discuss this like the level-headed folk that we are. Seems I've gotta do something before Ellie goes jabbering my business to anyone with one ear and an intent to listen.
And she opens the door for us. Alternatively, we can intimidate Jessie and say, open the door before I kick it down.
Should've known she'd send a bruiser after me. Damned if I don't rue the day I saved her scrawny little hide. Inadvertently, I befriended a bloodhound in the process. Alright, okay. We can discuss this like the level-headed folk that we are. Seems I've got to do something before Ellie goes jabbering my business to anyone with one ear and an intent to listen.
And again, she opens the door. We can now step inside her room and speak with Jessie face to face.
The truth is, I'm not sick. But if you repeat what I'm about to tell you to anyone, I will deny it with my dying breath. You, ain't with the board, are you? See, I owe them a lot. I might have missed a payment or two, and the other night I swear someone was following me back to my room. So I hold up here to lay low.
Ah, I see. So you're just hiding out in here, running away from your debt. I get it. So what did you do that got you in trouble?
What? No, I didn't do anything. I'm a law-abiding denizen of this ship, I swear.
Look, Jessie, either you level with me here or I walk out. Your choice.
You'd let a poor, ill woman get disappeared by the board? Awfully cold-blooded of you. Though I admire your backbone. Alright, I'll fess this part up too, if it means you'll help me. I'm a thief. I specialize in particularly high-end and historically valuable items. 3 weeks back, I caught rumor that the Blood Tear diamond, last worn by an heiress on the Lost Hope, had surfaced for the first time in 70 years.
Okay, but what does this have to do with the board?
Udam was my buyer for when I'd acquired the diamond. He paid half up front to finance the operation. Let's just say things went sideways about the time I got my hands on the diamond, and it crumbled to stardust in my palm. Anywho, I barely made it out with my life, and nary a plan to make back Udam's deposit I'd spent.
If we lie and say, I do work for the board, actually, then Jessie says...
Oh, laws. Wait, don't gut me and skin me yet. Please, talk to Bedford. Tell him I can pay, a part of it, and I'm a useful person to know. Just ask Ellie. Surely you wouldn't drag me before him. I'm dreadful contagious. I just know if I face him, I'm dead.
Alternatively, we can be nice and say, Ellie asked me to help you, so that's what I plan to do.
Udam Bedford's the board guy on the station. He'd know how I stand with them. If you can square things for me, I'd owe you one even bigger than Ellie owes me.
I'll talk to Udam for you.
Thanks for helping me with the board. You're a real pal. Or I guess I should say, Ellie is one, huh?
Udam Bedford is the representative of the Halcyon Holdings Corporation to the Groundbreaker. We haven't met Udam yet in any of our previous videos, but he's not exactly hard to find. Just head out of the medical bay and travel northeast to the opposite side of the Groundbreaker. The outside of his office has several large red banners, and there's a big sign above the door that says Halcyon. After heading inside, we can speak with Udam Bedford.
How do you do? How might I assist you?
I'm here about Jessie Doyle. I want her debt settled.
Miss Doyle owes the board a significant sum. Alas, the only collateral she has is her organs. Compulsory donation is quite legal in such cases.
We're now faced with a difficult decision. We can either pay off Jessie's debt in full, or we can negotiate with Udam and enter Jessie into an indentured contract. First, we'll say, she's worth more alive than dead. Put her under an indenture contract.
That's not unreasonable. What guarantee do I have that she'll agree to the terms you negotiate?
Well, the way I see it, she doesn't have much of a choice now, does she?
I quite concur. It's refreshing to deal with someone practical for a change. I will recall my collection agent. Tell Miss Doyle to report to me promptly for her first assignment. Now, is there anything else you need, or can I return to my work?
For selecting this option, our reputation with the board increases, and we acquire a healthy amount of experience points. Back in the medical bay, we can listen in on a brief conversation between Ellie and Jessie, who has now left her room inside the quarantine zone.
Wish I could say it was good to see you, Ellie. At least you finally got your chance to square our debt. That ought to make you smile for once, huh?
Nothing makes me happier than being even. Except being right. That's nice, too. The good news came through the wireless. Looks like you paid my debt to Jessie. I guess that means I owe you now, right? Tell you what, I'm a little short on bits at the moment, but I'm a decent scrapper and a better-than-average sawbones. If you're looking for a medic, I can work my debt off.
Are you saying you'll work for me just because I helped Jessie?
If I'm being honest, and I prefer not to, I was about ready to pick up another contract anyway. And you settled this in a pretty tidy fashion, which tells me you're competent. But we can say I'm repaying the favor if you prefer that version.
What exactly did Jessie do for you anyway?
She helped me win a bet.
I see. And what was the bet?
We were on a smuggling run planetside when our point man bet me I couldn't outrun a mantisaur.
And?
And, as you can probably guess, the thing was faster than it looked. Probably would have caught me if Jessie hadn't picked it off.
So you're saying she saved your life?
Yeah, but the important thing is I won the bet.
So you were determined to pay back Jessie for her good deed, and now you seem equally as determined to pay me back for paying off the debt. You really don't like owing people, do you?
It's like people touching a cookie and leaving it in the box. It's just one of those things that gets under my skin.
Alright, well, welcome aboard, Ellie.
You won't be sorry. Or if you are, just add it to my debt and we'll figure something out.
Before she walks out, we can also speak with Jessie.
Got word from Udam, from the hitman who trailed me the other night. Seems I'm indentured to the board now. I ain't too elated about going exclusive, but it's better than winding up dead. You sure saved my skin, stranger. All debts between me and Ellie are cleared.
And she gives us 1,000 bit cartridges. Jessie then heads out the door and sits down just outside the entrance to the medical bay. Sadly though, she doesn't have much else to say. If we don't want to enter Jessie into an indentured contract with the board, then instead we can simply pay off her debt. After reloading a previous save, we can say to Udam, look, I'll pay Jessie's debt for her.
I think you may have underestimated the size of Miss Doyle's debt. If you'll look over this itemized bill.
You're charging that much for emotional anguish? Really?
I am extremely anguished, Captain. Please respect my feelings in this difficult time.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. A total of 2,055 bits, huh? I'll cover that.
I'm glad we could come to an accommodation. You may inform Miss Doyle that our collections agent will be recalled. Now, is there anything else you need, or can I return to my work?
If we choose this option and then return to the medical bay, then we are presented with the same exact dialogue options from Ellie, but Jessie expresses gratitude.
Got word from Udam, from the hitman who trailed me the other night. Seems I'm in the clear, thanks to you squaring my debt. You sure saved my skin, stranger. All debts between me and Ellie are cleared.
And again, we end up receiving 1,000 bit cartridges from Jessie. So now, here's the real question. Which is the best ending to this quest? Do we force Jessie into labor via an indentured contract? Or do we pay off her debt? As with most other dilemmas in the Outer Worlds universe, there are pros and cons to both. Financially speaking, the better option is obvious. Negotiate the contract and then collect 1,000 bit cartridges from Jessie. If instead you choose to pay off her debt and then collect the money from her, you still end up with a net loss of 1,055 bit cartridges, compared to a net gain of 1,000 if you force Jessie into labor. So again, financially speaking, the best choice here is to negotiate the contract. However, if you're looking for the most ethical choice, this is where things get a bit difficult. Personally, I'm on the fence with this one. On the one hand, I absolutely hate the idea of forcing Jessie into labor. Knowing the board, they'll likely make her work an egregious number of hours just to pay off her debt, and they'll treat her like scum in the process. Furthermore, it really wasn't her fault that she ended up in the financial predicament that she did. Jessie used Udam's money to fund the mission just like she said she would, and in a stroke of bad luck, the Blood Diamond ended up disintegrating. She had no way of knowing this would happen, so in some ways, I really can sympathize with her. At the same time though, I think there's a case to be made that Jessie should take some responsibility. It may not have been her fault that the mission went south, but then again, perhaps she should have thought it through a bit more. Maybe she should have saved up and used her own money to finance the mission instead of borrowing it from Udam. That way, if things didn't go as planned, at least she would lose her own money and not someone else's, thereby keeping her clear of debt. In an ideal world, the punishment would fit the crime. Jessie would take ownership of her mistake, work a fair amount of time to pay off her debt, and everyone would be on their merry way. But as we know, the Outer Worlds universe isn't an ideal world. It's a cruel, harsh, and unforgiving world. And I can't help but think that Jessie's punishment wouldn't fit the crime. It would be a whole lot worse. Therefore, I think the best choice here is to pay off Jesse's debt and let her walk free, even if it means losing 1,055 bit cartridges in the process. But folks, I would love to know your thoughts on this. How did you choose to end this quest? Did you negotiate a contract and force Jessie into labor? Or did you pay off her debt? Let me know in the comments below. I post new videos on the Outer Worlds every Wednesday and Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, so be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be alerted when I post new content. If you're so inclined, leave a like on this video too. I'd really appreciate it. I'll be back in just a few days with a brand new video on the Outer Worlds, but that's all I've got for now. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Still betting on the Tossball series? I know you were trying to stop.
I put a couple of bits in Vera's pool.